All right, got a 92 here. Looks like I have finally a dime, just a clear dime. Really, I'm using a Makro pinpointer. It's doing very well. Haven't hit anything real deep yet, so we'll see how it continues to function. That's an 86. I like to call it. I like to call that a junk zone, but that's just about a coin-sized target, so I gotta dig it. And it looks like I have another penny. This is another 86. Looking disturbing, looking like another penny. Yep, another penny. This Texas Tiger Digs, and I'm combining a couple of things here because neither one is big enough to take up a full video. But the Makro pinpointer, I took it out today, and as you see, it is very much worse for wear here. It is mighty dirty because I just took it out. I'm not going out again today. It's about 1 or 2 o'clock, and I have reached my misery index for the day because today it's not only cold, mid to high 30s, but it's wet, and that's a bad combination. But I had a pretty rough day yesterday, so I thought I need to go out and hopefully hit the jackpot today. Didn't actually get any silver this time, but you know, my silver streak is still intact. Not consecutive silver streak, but I got silver week before, silver last week, and this is the first day of the new week, so I've still got a chance to keep that streak going, hopefully turn to golden. In any case, the Makro pinpointer, it's pretty cool. This is my conclusion from it. I'm not going to replace my TRX with it, and I didn't really expect I was going to do that when I bought it. My TRX is just deeper. It's deeper than any of the available pinpointers out there right now. You know, like I said, some people have issues with it because, you know, on its higher setting they feel it's a little bit erratic, and it can be, but you can get past that. You might have to tinker with it a little bit, but the depth is just, you know, unmatched. But this is comparable in all forms and all depths to the Garrett and the Mind Lab pinpointers. So, you know, if you choose in between one or the other, you might have a bit of withdrawal. The fact it is waterproof gives it some benefit if you're going to be doing some lake detecting or stepping out into the water. But that is probably going to be the major player if you choose this pinpointer. So, and I do have an issue with it. This button is heck to push. You see that? I'm not the weakest guy in the world, and it takes effort to push this pinpointer. Now, that's not that it's an obstruction to buying it, because it is waterproof, and I assume that might be the reason it's so difficult to push. You know, it's got to be some sealer in there somewhere. Now, switching it off. See there, now. Switching it off, you got to push it, you got to hold it a bit. Now, this is not bad in normal day-to-day use. A little bit annoying, but not bad. But when it's cold out and you're wearing gloves, it's a pain in the butt. The Garrett, the TRX, the Mind Lab from the pictures, I've never owned one. They're just so easy to push at any given time. You know, just to press the button, boom, 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 go. But, you know, so that's a drawback to it. And another thing I found, and I'm not sure if this can be reproduced by anybody else who has a Deus. The Deus is 11.8 kilohertz. I believe it's its third up frequency. This thing did not work well with the Deus on that frequency. Now, you see me working with the Deus in the video you saw beginning of this video, but it went nuts when I went 12 kilohertz. Now, I'm not sure that that's just a function of my Deus, a function of this pinpointer, so I'm not saying that's a deal breaker. And it's not a deal breaker in any case. You just have to make sure you get this thing a long way from the Deus when it's in 12 kilohertz. But I didn't have any issue with it when I was working 18 kilohertz. I assume I wouldn't have any issue at 8 kilohertz or 4 kilohertz. But that was a bit weird. So that's all I've really got to say about this. And now let me complete the roundup and do this. So mine is not a bad purchase. You know, it might have issues with certain kilohertz, right? Issues with interference, but it is a metal detector. All these pinpointers are metal detectors, and they can conflict with certain machines at certain frequencies. So that's something you got to keep in mind. Would I buy it? Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not going to send it back. So I'm not disappointed in it, but it's just going to be a backup pinpointer. It's not better than it's definitely not better than the Technics. It's not better than the Garrett, and I don't have a Mind Lab, but you know, if they're in the ballpark, I don't see it be better than that. But it is waterproof, so if that's a player, buy it. If it's not, just buy it. It's a pinpointer. It's a good pinpointer. It has this little tip, protective tip that fits over the top to prevent it from going. It has a nice case, so if all those are players, then get the macro pointer. Now, getting back to the roundup here. Now I got a 3-day roundup. This is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is not that impressive, but I'm not going to be going out again. The effort required to do this was great because the misery index increased each day. It was cold on Friday. It was cold on, maybe it didn't increase between Friday and Saturday. It was as cold on Saturday, but the wind wasn't blowing. It was blowing on Friday. And this was a lunch hunt, so a very short hunt. This was a much longer hunt, so the return to me was not commensurate with what I found. Now this on today, this was a very short hunt, maybe an hour and a half, and the misery index was off the chart. It was wet, it was cold, and now it's raining and wet and cold. So I'm not going out again today. So here we go. Now this looks like I found this in part of the big park. It looks like somebody's attempt to make a primitive necklace, or it could be have some other function that I'm not aware of. It looks like a lead weight on, I don't know if this is actual string or rawhide, but so that's what that is. This was probably my top find, and I tried to glue this back. It's actually a cross a cross hairpin. See, it's like a little girl's hairpin, because I really do like it. It's really nice. You know, it's really got a good look to it. The gluing didn't really work, so it's probably going to be the cross came off, and it's rusty underneath. This is not silver. This is not of intrinsic value, but it's pretty nice, and I like it. And over here I got a couple of pennies and a quarter and a wolf badge or a plate or something. Not exactly sure. Another Boy Scout deal. First one of these I found, so that'll go into my Boy Scout slide collection, or necktie collection, or whatever you call those bolos. And you know, it's pretty cool. So you know, I got to find a couple of things of interest there. And yesterday, like I said, it was very cold, but the wind wasn't blowing, so it made it tolerable. So this was a multiple hunts through multiple parks, and I was not finding much. But in the big park, I did find this, and this is a very small. I thought it might be a small coin, so I was thinking, you know, is this something very old? But it's just you can see a little thing on here. It's a charm. It's Queen Elizabeth II charm. You don't find a lot of those in parks in the middle of North Texas. And a dog tag. So that's cool enough. Dog tag. You know, at least it was something. There was not a pull tab or a screw cap. And so put that to the side. So if you count this and count my previous days, that's 3/4. That's $1.25, maybe about $1.30. Not too sure if these might not rank as crusty zincs. Let's just say this is $1.30. And this was just, you know, one of those little things that the detector loves so much because it's round. So you're hoping it's a ring, and it turns out to be junk. So, you know, it's pretty cool. Yeah, okay, and today I didn't find anything of any doodads, knickknacks, or trinkets. All I found were coins, and this is about 93 cents. So $1.50 and 93 cents was at $2.43, something like that. So $2.43 in change. So not anything you're gonna write home about, but you know, a few trinkets. And you know, this was getting used to the misery of winter. And it's early because we don't get this kind of weather in November very often. This cold, this rainy, this wet. And there's a good chance that this rain we've got, if it drops 5 or 6 degrees, could turn into ice or snow tonight. So it'll make the commute tomorrow interesting. If I do make it into work, I might have to just, I do have the capability of working from home if there's no other choice, so maybe that'll come up. In any case, you know, that was it for this week. So they combined the Makro pinpointer review with my little bit of return for these 3 days, the weekend and Friday, and my doodad. So that's all I've got, and I'll probably be back out maybe tomorrow. It's all according to how the weather's going to be. You know, cold doesn't really bother me. Cold and wet is a bad combination, but it's supposed to get warmer a little bit, 30, 45, 50 degrees maybe. So more like normal November weather, but normal November weather also can be miserable and rainy, etc. But I had to overcome my misery reflex and get the job done, because it's going to get colder in January, December, maybe January and February definitely. And I'm going to keep hunting. So you guys that are snowed in, I'm going to be out there trying to do my best to give you a little vicarious fun. Maybe I didn't succeed this time, but there's always the next week. Anyway, this is Texas Tiger Digs, and I will catch you next time, and you have a wonderful day, and I will be with you next week, hopefully in warmer with some precious metal finds.